On to Newcastle. The Newcastle board is reportedly getting closer to the verge of recommending a 1.2 billion new pound, 1.2 billion pound new stadium project overlapping with St James's Park. How many issues are gonna be to overcome that kind of project?
Big logistical issues because things never go smoothly in a construction of that scale. And so you can expect now, no matter how well it's planned, for there to be issues. And that's going to mean, for part of a season, they're going to be looking at, having to close down one end of the stadium, which means reduced revenues as well as lack of atmosphere, all the things that come with that, health and safety issues, etc., etc. And so, that's one area that I did feel would go against the new stadium is all the disruption that may cause. Now, there have been some, artists' impressions leaked, whether they're real or not, we don't know. Obviously, it's magnificent. Any new stadium that's being built these days would be magnificent, but I still think a revamped St James's Park is where we're going to end up. I think money-wise and disruption-wise, I think that's still the best possibility. Now, obviously, most of the building, they would try and do it. They'd try and make sure that the last game of their season is away from home, all through the summer, and then the first couple of games at home in the next season, they'd try and make those away games as well to give as long a window as possible in the summer to try and do some building. But it's going to take longer than that to do the sort of things we're talking about. So we're yet to see if it's going to be a really bold, imaginative, new stadium, but that's going to come with some real pain, but great long-term gain. Or are they going to go for St James's Park and restore that to what it could be in terms of still a great gem of football with less disruption? And I think a lot of the fans would be happy with that.
And how do you build an overlapping stadium if they're going to use part of the same ground? I mean, we're talking about potentially a year or two of playing somewhere else. I mean, that to me is the biggest issue. We've already seen other teams, obviously like Tottenham, play at Wembley for a year when necessary. But how does someone like Newcastle handle that?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a feat of engineering. I've never been involved, although I've done about 5 or 6 stadium projects. I've never done one that would be overlapping on an existing stadium. You'd imagine that there would be part of that one end closed down where they're playing football still, and gradually, as the infrastructure is put in place, that sort of area would increase. You'd hope that there would still be availability in certain parts of that end of the ground. I did see it to a degree at Hertha Berlin when they were building their stadium. I went and looked at that one, but it meant really that there was a lack of atmosphere without having those, the whole ground full, and that's the biggest problem for Newcastle. Plus, it's an extra cost. So the prize is fantastic, as I said. If they were to get it, a new stadium with the impressions I've seen would no doubt would be incredible, but it's perhaps too much pain.